Good evening, everyone. Hello. Yes, so here I am to share my entrepreneurship journey. So before that, let me introduce myself. So my name is Kishendran. I was a graduate from computer science and I specialized in data science and AI. And if you like to connect with me, that's my LinkedIn over there as well, my QR. So now going to the more important part, which is my startup. My startup is called TaskFace. So TaskFace is an AI team and time management app that helps students manage their group assignment and their personal time with the help of AI. And very specifically, our goal is to bring in transparency and accountability into your group work and as well help you with your employability as well. How we work is that we actually take in all the data from your group work and find out what soft skills best represent you when you worked in that group assignment. And once you graduate, you can actually quantify all the qualitative features about yourself. So to come to this point of my startup, it was never easy because I came from a very computer science background with no business knowledge at all. So coming into this, I had loads of questions, what's a good business idea? How do I make money? Where do I even begin? All these questions went through my mind. And I was very passionate about what I wanted to do, but I had no idea how to start. And that's when I found about Taylor's BizSpot, actually, which is a technopreneurship course, where they actually provided us with a mentor and workshops as well to help us further refine our idea, I would say, So it was never easy and, close to failing about at least 100 times. But beyond just the business challenges of like, is it a good idea or is it a bad idea? I think it was the fact that, at the time, parents as well giving you the pressure of like, go find a real job. And you wanting to do a startup as well, you're so passionate about it, but with no results to prove that it's going to work. So it was this blind faith that you had to have in yourself and having to keep pushing through as well. It was one of the biggest challenges I had throughout my whole startup journey. But beyond that, thankfully, after going through all that hardship, what I found out near the end of my journey was that beyond the business skills I've gained from talking, going for all these business networking events and all that, was the fact the most important thing for a startup is that you need perseverance. The importance of it, you're going to have to just blindly believe in yourself, even when you lose all your team members, which is what happened to me. I lost all my team. And having to do that alone was very difficult. But I believed in the product, and when I spoke to a lot of students as well back then, this was a year and a half ago, when we did our market validation, about if students will love this or not, and we spoke to tailors as well about this. And thankfully, it came out very positive with the 98% of students wanting to use or they love using TaskFace as well. And yeah, coming to the whole journey of how TaskFace is right now, we joined the Camp Leaders program from Taylor's, where my mentor was from AirAsia Move, and now we're also being partnered as well with AirAsia Move. And we even got funded by Taylor's for 30,000. We won InnoFest. And yeah, we even got featured on the Star page as well, the newspaper. So it started out pretty rough in the beginning, but all I can say was that the hard work really paid off near the end. And we're still progressing in our journey. And yeah, we're still moving through. But yeah, so far, all I can say is that if you have an idea and you're feeling scared, that's completely fine. But I say go for it, even if you have to do it alone. So thank you. Right. Just a few questions to shoot out to the audience themselves. What do you think is the most important thing when starting a business? Any answers? Money. So I hear money. Oh, yeah. Oh, sure.
Okay, for those of you who are answering his questions today, I need a favor. If you could stand up, state your name and your student ID for me. Okay?
Sure. So you said money, right? I guess so. Yeah, you were saying as well? I guess. Okay, that's a good answer. That's a good answer. Any other answers for everyone? Later, I'll come to an answer. Actually, there's actually an answer to this, but I'd love to hear what everyone has to say as well. Any other answers? What's the most important thing when you're starting a business or an idea? Yes. Sorry? Mindset. That's a good one as well. The resilience, yeah, to believe in yourself. That's important too. Anyone else? Yes. Discipline. Yes, that is also very, very important. Oh, yep. Patience. Yes, a lot. A lot of patience. Anyone else? Oh, yes. Yeah, you raised your hand, right? Mm-hmm. Close, actually. That's very close to the right answer. So, okay, one more. Just one last. Clear idea and clear end goal. Okay, one last one. I saw your hand, sorry, twice already, yeah. Teamworking. Sorry, I couldn't hear. Was that teamwork? Teamwork, okay. So these are all right answers, but the highest answer actually from all the investors when we spoke to is it comes down to if you have a product, before starting a business, you want to make sure that someone wants your product or your business. That's what they call market validation. So you can have all the mindset, all the patience, all the money in the world. But if you start something that no one wants, you're not going to have a business at the end of the day. So it's things like where you have to do market validation, where you go out, do the surveys. In my experience, very humbling. A lot of people, when you try to get even a 2-minute QR survey as well, they laugh and walk away. But that's part of the experience of the entrepreneurship. But yeah, market validation actually is the most important thing when you want to start a business. Go around, ask who's interested, find out who's your target market, not try to go for the whole world itself because that never works out well for anyone. So find out who really is the problem you're solving for and go towards that. And trust me, you'll be making some good money as well if you're solving the problem with your product. Um, yeah, I think any other questions actually about startups or businesses, I'd like to hear from the audience. Anything else? I love dumb questions, by the way. I ask 1,000 of them at least in a day. So I started out at the beginning as well, same thing. So shoot all your answers or anything just generally about businesses or you have an idea, I can try to actually talk to you as well. Anyone? Oh, yes. It's a- Oh, yeah, demotivating. Yeah, a group of girls see you doing the survey, then they laugh and walk away. Yeah, very demotivating. But no, actually, it was still part of the fun because you do get some people to do the survey, and while they're doing it as well, they tell you, oh, okay, what's this all about? So they're interested about it. So you further validate it as well from talking to them. So yes, demotivating someplace, but that's just part of the deal, really. The ups and downs. Yeah. Anything else, actually? Yes. Mhm. Right. This actually happened once, thankfully not too many times, where one of the investors was from Taylor's actually. They first thought that the product was not strong enough. This is when I was pitching for 10K, by the way. So when we were getting the 10K, my product was not strong enough. And I actually took back and sat down again and went back to the board. 5 months, I went through all the surveying once more, redid everything else, looked back into the framework of the product, see what really can be impact for students, solving an emotional problem that no one else is solving. By the way, in case I haven't mentioned, the TaskFace solves the free rider issues actually in your group assignment, which no other product out there was actually solving. So it was a very emotional problem. So after 6 months almost, cracking my head, it's how I came to okay, you know what, this is what the market wants, and then you pitch it to them as well, saying that this is what the market wants, and you're solving an emotional problem that no one else in the market is doing. Show your value to them, the investors will come in as well. So yeah, thank you for the question. Any other questions? Oh, yes. Well, I wouldn't do it my family, like my personal opinion. Uh, my personal opinion, not with my family, unfortunately. But I have seen a lot of startups before who do their startups with their brothers or sisters. I think that's fine. If you have trust in them, I would say go for it. Yeah, it depends on you. If you trust them enough, then sure. If you don't or they feel a bit flaky, stay away from that as much as possible, especially when you know they got money problems. So yeah. Oh, wow, okay. Uh, Go with the flow, I guess, and hope you don't end up too badly. Right. I guess in that case, I would say try not to make yourself the biggest one over there. So if anything does mess up, at least you're not really too much into trouble. But yeah, I think it's just see how it goes, and then maybe you can start on your own with whatever experience you made from that. Yeah. Yeah, thank you for the question. Any other questions from anyone from this side? I don't know. No one from this side has asked anything yet, but just looking around. That's about it. Oh, yeah. Hi. Oh, has happened. I mean, we just basically take in what the problem was. If let's say it's a bug or something, we just fix it. If let's say they say something like, oh, they want more features or whatever, we'll look into it and see if other people feel the same way. Then we'll probably add in more because we can't just take one person's. If let's say, like I said, the features. If it's just one person saying but no one else saying, it's not worth it enough to me to put money into it as well, put in the development. But if most people say that, then okay, then we put in the effort as well. But yeah, most of the issues are usually bugs. But that's just like overnight fixes, really. So yeah, that's about it. Yeah, yeah. Oh, sure.
Customers' opinion matters, but again, it's about majority versus minorities' opinion, right? If it's a major thing, many are complaining on the common element, then you may want to revamp, right? But if that is needy, then the platform will be your market research. That is the data, right? In your case, the real project, how frequent market research was needy?
Right. Market research, I think in my case, at least so far, has been every 4 months. Like there's a few things that changes actually throughout time. Like for example, I'd say, let's say your peer evaluation, right? We want to digitize that entirely. And back then during my time when I was doing peer evaluation, you usually write let's say you're going to write the soft skills about the person. We write that down. But nowadays, whenever you go back and look at it, they're like, oh, make a drop down. I don't want to write everything. I want to just pick, make it easier. So it's small different things where we constantly have to keep checking because students change and the times change as well. It's much more easier for most others. So yeah, at least maybe like every semester, we usually have to do a market survey back again and asking students what we can improve on. Because it is an app, a platform for students, so we take the feedback of the students. So yeah. No, it's okay. I'm fine standing. Oh, yeah. Ooh, most important. Wow, that's a lot actually. Most important, I would say, find team members that share the same vision as you. Because down the line, if you go with friends, it's very hard to be stern with them because you're close with them. And when things mess up, it's really hard. And if you go with someone who you have no choice to be with, then you're stuck with you just begging them to do the work as well. And I had to deal with both of those scenarios. So a lot of things when I saw from other startups, they usually have a team that share the same vision. You don't have to beg them to do the work. They do it without you even thinking. If not, they participate more in the talks or discussions. Yeah, so I would say definitely find team members who share the same vision as you. Yeah, it's the most important one. Thank you. Yeah. Yeah. What I would have done differently. I think later on, I think everyone can just come up to Miss and then share your student name and ID. Oh, sorry, I didn't see. Oh, when approaching investor, definitely make sure you validated your product. So that's first, validate your product. Make sure that your business model as well works competitively from whatever's in the market, and as well have a cap table they call it. See where your business is going to grow in the next 5 years. They want to see, okay, let's say you're going to expand. How fast are you going to expand? how much money you'll be making. So let's say you targeted a sector like, let's say, KL, for example. That's maybe going to bring you maybe like, what, 2 million, let's say, for example. And what are you going to do for the next 5 years? They want to see the business grows, hence why they'll put in money. Because most investors, they don't really care what the product is. They just want to at least double their money or 5x their money. So yeah, that's what I would say. Yeah. The short term. Yeah, yeah. Oh, investors come and go. Oh no, investors come and go. That's fine. Yeah, some investors, when you're doing your early stage startup, they come in with maybe 2 million. That's your first investor. Later on, when you build up even more and more, bigger investors come in. They'll buy out the smaller investor actually. So it's constantly you raising capital like more and more and more to expand your business even more. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Thank you for the question. You too. Yeah. Yeah, we can come back. Sorry, what was your question again? It's okay. Me too. Oh, okay. Oh, what would I have done differently? Definitely, okay. Definitely would not have hired someone from Fiverr to do something. I think that's one. Yeah, what would I do and what have I done differently? I think I would have done what I've done differently is that I would have properly tried to validate the market a bit more than just trying to stick to one university, and try to move out a bit more as well. And maybe before even like developing half of the product, yeah, validate it first if the product is even wanted or not, and then go on with it. I would have saved at least easily 4 months of my time that way. Yeah, painful 4 months, but yeah, that's what I would have done differently. Thank you for the question. Anyone else? Oh, yes. What challenges have I gone through, is it? Or what challenges have I gone through? Whew, teamwork, that's first. Having a terrible team, that's number one. The other one was challenges with innovating, actually. Because at first, when I first made my startup, it was basically almost close to whatever Google Calendar was, with a little bit of mix of like Asana, for example. It wasn't that new, you know. So that was, innovating really took me a long, long time, and talking to so many people, and like, you know, idea just struck sometimes, you know. But again, it took a lot of talking to a lot of people to see what was their problem, and then only to solve the emotional problem of it. Yeah, I think innovating and teamwork was the two biggest challenges I had to face. Yeah, thank you for the question. Anyone else? Oh yes. How do I overcome? Teamwork was by letting them go. I had to let go of the team because I was losing my mind on them. But now I work with a different development team, and they're amazing, honestly. But for the term of innovation, I'd say the overcoming, like I said, it took about 5-6 months, man. It was like I wouldn't say I stared at it every day, but it was definitely at the back of my mind almost every day. And then sooner or later, you just be looking around like, hey, if you're going to solve it, you break it down step by step. Okay, if I want to solve this, what could potentially be? And then you keep breaking it down more and more and more. You find something somewhere, and then you get the innovation from that. But yeah, it's a bit of luck and a bit of like, it just struck your mind like that. Yeah. So I can't really say much of innovation besides just seeing what all the other players in the market are doing, and maybe leverage on all their weaknesses into your product as a strength, really. Yeah. Thank you. Anyone else? Oh, yes. Oh, we didn't. We just straight up like we didn't get any funding. We had to validate the market first. Like I said, our first funding came from tailors, and we really, really had to validate the market, and they want to see that people like the product or not. So we had some testing as well going on, and only after that, they felt like it was worth it. Then only we got our first seed funding. Actually, the first 10K funding, I failed that actually terribly, and that's when the 5 months I went back onto the board, and then instead of 10K, we secured a 30K funding instead. So yeah, that's how it is really. But you can't get any funding in the beginning because they want to see that you can make something out of nothing first without any money. Then they're willing to put in the money. Yeah, that's how usually most investors work. All right, thank you for the question. Yes. Yeah. Funding from tailors. Okay, so how tailors works is that there is two types of funding. Yeah, I mean there's other mini fundings as well, like go up to like 3K. But the bigger one is like the 10K and the 30K. So the 10K, I forgot what it was called because I didn't get it anyway. Uh, but the 30K funding was called Innovate Grant. So that grant is actually, you have to do a lot of research work into it as well, and that's when you get the grant. And it was based off of that and the value that it was bringing to the market is why they invested in it. Yeah. Oh, right. Oh, oh, how does it? Oh, oh, right. Yeah, BizPod was basically my incubator for all my startup. I mean, for my one startup, basically, what am I talking about? For my startup. And I think you see at the top where the second picture is where we actually meet in with the knowledge transfer and commercialization team. They are the ones who actually choose if you get the funding or not. So you have to pitch it to them, which was close to a half an hour pitch of telling them why TaskSpace was a big thing. And only after that is when we actually took that picture when we secured the 30K funding, actually. Yes, and that's why the picture is there now. But yeah, if you have an idea and you want to do some research on it and things like that, Taylor's will fund you the idea. You just have to approach Taylor's KTC team with your idea and pitch it to them. And if they like it, they fund the idea. It's as simple as that. Yeah. All right. Yeah, you look like you have a question. Oh, okay, you do. Okay. Bro, I need money more. Mm-hmm. Oh, with me. I mean, sure, we can have a chat. I mean, I don't know why not. But to invest in your startup, you mean, is it? Oh, no, man, I don't got money like that. I got money for my own only right now. I wish I did. If anything, you can actually try approaching Bizpot, Taylor's Bizpot. I mean, right now, Taylor's Bizpot is going under renovation, but I can give you the context. You can talk to them. They'll actually send you for pitching and things like one is from Taylor's, and then I told you we have other mini fundings as well, where it goes like 1K, 2K, 3K, then we got 10K, and then 30K. So you can try for those funding and see how it goes as well. Yeah, because there's so many other students that are not from Bizpot that have just heard of Bizpot and they join these kind of competitions and then they get funded as well. So yeah. I mean, I'll give you the contact later. Yeah, okay. Any other questions? Oh, right. Sorry? Oh yeah, yeah. The innovation of the idea part. Yeah, it was. I really don't know. Sorry, it just more like it just hit my head with the idea. So I guess you could say it was luck a bit. But yeah, it's just more like see how it goes, you know. But most of the thing is, I think it's because also I got to that process thinking, because I was able to get all the information I needed to get to that final thinking actually. So yeah, luck played maybe a bit. Like for example, getting the opportunity to join Camp Leaders and being working with the AirAsia mentor as well from AirAsia, right? Like, cause the mentor was actually done by random, so I wouldn't know who I was supposed to get. So when I got my mentor from AirAsia Ride, at least on AirAsia Move now they're called, is how we actually ended up with the partnership. I spoke to them. I was like, how about it? And they were fine with it. So I ended up we partnered up together. So yes, a bit of luck here and there. But don't depend entirely on luck because that never works out well for anyone. Yeah. Thank you for the question. Any more? All right. Now I got all the energy. I'm more than happy to answer anything about startups or businesses. Anything else? All good? Going once? Going twice? Oh yeah, sure, sure.
Torturing you
No, no,
today.
it's okay. It's okay.
Okay. One last question from me, maybe on behalf of you kids as well. I don't know, right? How far do you think the know-how skill, as in, like, for example, you are a computer science student, that's your background academically, versus you're an entrepreneur now, right? How far do you think in reality academic background or a know-how skill is needy and not needy for an entrepreneur?
Oh, that really depends what your degree is on. Just to let you all know, so I'm a data scientist, so we learn only mostly on like analytical stuff, not really like software engineers where they do programming from nothing. So for me, programming was never really my strong suit, but I was good with data and I knew how to analyze data well. So I had to really outhouse my developers and find other team members as well to work for my team to develop the product in the first place. But of course, the idea and how everything works came from me. And our product as well, all the data is inside that is researched, and I was the one who did the research based on all the data I've taken as well. I've gotten from the students. But in terms of like how well does it relate to your academic and how well if you want to be an entrepreneur, it really depends on what the idea is and what your degree is on. So, doesn't really matter if you have the programming skills or not. You can always try to validate the market first and then get funding later on to hire a team or, see how it goes as well based on your product's idea. So it's very hard to answer that, honestly. It really depends on like what the idea is and what. Oh, right. Right, right. Oh, yeah, yeah, definitely. Right, right. Oh, I mean, yeah, all that happens. But yeah, it doesn't matter because when you do get into the business world with a startup, trust me, if you've never done a startup before, everything is new. Everything, learning all the business lingo, talking to so many other like other startups as well, other businesses, investors. You learn everything one by one, and I would say as you go through each step, be very humble about it. Don't try to be a. I was about to say, never mind. Don't try to be too smart about it either. It never works out well. So be humble about it. Try to search it up, learn a bit more as well for your own sake. And yeah, that's about it. So good luck to everyone here. All right. Okay. One more, one more question. Market research. Best way, if you ask me, if your product depends, like for example, for me, as students, I just set up a booth here at SLC last time, and then I just got in all the survey. Matter of fact, I actually did this thing where I was like a blind box. I bought snacks worth like 20 cents, and I put it inside. It's like lousy snacks. Put it inside the box. I made it blind box. And I told the students, "You want a free snack? Put your hand inside. Do the QR." It was like 20 cents per person. And they just put their hand inside, and they do the QR first, then they get some lousy snack. But I got all the data I needed. It was like 350 students did the survey for a free snack. So I got the data I needed, but you got to be smart about it. You don't want to end up paying for like one coffee per person or something like that. So be a bit creative about it, and try to get as much as you can from with very little money as possible needed. So yeah. So thank you for that question as well. All right, I think that's about it. So I will end it here. Thank you all for your time, and good luck to everyone here who wants to do a start.